Misjudged potential. The 7 representatives of the Galactic Confederation sat in their obsidian chamber, orbiting the neutral space above Proxima Centauri. Their massive vessel, invisible to Earth's primitive detection systems, had been monitoring the blue planet for 3 standard cycles. "The assessment phase is complete," announced High Arbiter Korlax, his translucent appendages rippling with bioluminescent patterns. "Shall we proceed with the voting ritual?" Admiral Vryn of the Thoraxian fleet clicked her mandibles together impatiently. "I don't see why we need a formal vote. Earth is clearly a Class 4 resource world. Their civilization barely understands interplanetary travel, let alone the principles of quantum folding. Protocol must be followed," reminded Ambassador Illyria, the eldest of the Solari delegation. Her crystalline form shimmered as she spoke. "Every species deserves consideration, even the primitive ones." The holographic display in the center of the chamber depicted Earth's major cities, military installations, and resource deposits. The data was overwhelming. Rare minerals, biological diversity, and vast water reserves made the planet an ideal acquisition. "Very well," Sorlax conceded. "The motion before the Confederation Council is to classify Sol 3, locally known as Earth, as a Class 4 resource world, authorizing immediate resource extraction and population management." One by one, each representative registered their vote. The decision was unanimous. Earth would be harvested, its population either eliminated or repurposed for labor. It was the natural order of the cosmos. Advanced civilizations had rights to the resources of the less developed. This had been the way of the galaxy for 50,000 years. "Invasion protocol authorized," Sorlax declared. "Fleet Commander Vryn, you may deploy your forces at your discretion." Vryn's chidness face couldn't smile, but the excitement in her voice was unmistakable. "The humans won't know what hit them. I'll have my extraction teams on the ground within 1 standard rotation." None of them noticed the small anomaly in their detection systems, a tiny Earth satellite that had captured the Confederation vessel's energy signature, despite its supposed invisibility. Dr. Elena Reyes stared at the data on her screen, her coffee long forgotten and cold. As the lead scientist at NASA's Deep Space Monitoring Initiative, she had been tracking the anomalous readings for weeks. "General Harrington, I'm sending you the updated telemetry now," she said into her secure phone. "It's definitely artificial, and it's definitely not one of ours." In the Pentagon's Situation Room, General Michael Harrington watched as the data materialized on the main display. Surrounding him were the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the President's National Security Advisor. "How certain are you, Doctor?" the General asked. 100%, Elena replied without hesitation. "And there's more. Our newest quantum array picked up what appears to be communication signals. We've decoded fragments. Sir, they're discussing Earth. Discussing us." The mood in the room shifted instantly. "What are they saying?" The National Security Advisor leaned forward. Elena's voice shook slightly. "They've taken a vote. They're planning to invade. They're classifying us as something called a Class 4 resource world. From what we can piece together, that means they intend to strip mine the planet and manage the population." Silence fell over both rooms, thousands of miles apart yet united in the same horrific realization. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe, and first contact would be an extinction-level event. General Harrington broke the silence. "How long do we have?" "Based on the communications, less than 24 hours. The President was notified. Emergency protocols were activated. Within 3 hours, a secret global conference connected the leaders of every major nation. Ancient rivalries and ongoing conflicts were set aside as the breadth of the threat became clear. We have one advantage," Elena told the assembled world leaders. "They don't know we detected them. They believe their technology is beyond our comprehension." Russian President Volkov spoke first. "Can we negotiate?" "Their communications suggest they don't see us as equals," replied the Chinese premier. "They discussed us as we might discuss livestock." The American president looked grim. Then we prepare to fight, not as separate nations, but as one planet. As of this moment, I propose we establish the Earth Defense Alliance. The vote, like the one that had condemned humanity hours earlier, was unanimous. The Confederation's first wave arrived exactly as scheduled. 500 ships of varying sizes entered Earth's atmosphere simultaneously, targeting major cities across the globe. Their shields were designed to withstand nuclear blasts, the most advanced weapons the Confederation believed humans possessed. What they didn't expect was what awaited them. Dr. Elena Reyes and her international team of scientists had worked tirelessly to analyze the fragmented communications. They had discovered a critical weakness. The Confederation's ships all operated on the same command frequency, a universal system never designed to be secure against outside interference because no primitive species had ever detected it before. As the alien vessels positioned themselves over their targets, ready to begin their shock and awe campaign, Elena gave the signal. Every radio telescope, satellite dish, and broadcasting station on Earth transmitted the same precisely calibrated signal. A digital virus designed to exploit the one thing the Confederation had never bothered to protect: their basic operating system. Across the globe, alien ships faltered. Their weapons systems locked. Their shields flickered and failed. Their engines shut down. The mighty invasion force hung helpless in the skies of Earth. Fleet Commander Vryn frantically tried to restore control from her command vessel still safely in orbit. What is happening? How is this possible? They're primitives. Receiving visual communication from the planet's surface, one of her officers reported, mandibles trembling with fear. The holographic display activated, showing a human female, Dr. Elena Reyes. "This is Earth," she said calmly. "We've temporarily disabled your fleet. We invite your leadership to discussions about your unprovoked aggression against our world." Vryn's compound eyes widened in shock. Impossible. They can't have this level of technology. Your ships use a standardized operating system, Elena continued, one with several exploitable vulnerabilities. Your first wave of ships are now under our control. We suggest you consider your next actions very carefully. The 7 members of the Confederation Council watched the transmission with mounting horror. This was unprecedented. No Class 4 civilization had ever resisted classification, let alone countered an invasion force. High Arbiter Korlax turned to his fellow council members. "We may have miscalculated." The Earth Defense Alliance moved swiftly. The disabled alien ships were boarded by Special Forces teams from around the world. The alien technology was cataloged, studied, and reverse-engineered with astonishing speed. What the Confederation failed to understand was humanity's greatest strength: adaptability under pressure. While individually less advanced than many Confederation species, humans collectively possessed an unmatched ability to innovate when facing extinction. Within weeks, quantum laboratories across Earth were replicating alien tech. Material scientists were analyzing hull compositions. Engineers were redesigning propulsion systems. Linguists were mastering alien languages and decoding vast databases of Confederation knowledge. Most importantly, military strategists were planning Earth's response. Fleet Commander Vryn faced the Council, her once proud posture now submissive. "The humans have begun adapting our technology. They've already launched 3 ships using our own propulsion designs, but modified. They're learning at an exponential rate." "Have they made demands?" asked Ambassador Illyria. "Yes." Vryn's mandibles clicked nervously. "They want reparations for our act of war, recognition as a sovereign galactic power, and a formal apology from this council." Admiral Zex of the Draconian Guard slammed his scaled fist on the table. "Preposterous. We do not negotiate with primitives. Prepare the main fleet for a full-scale assault." High Arbiter Korlax raised a glowing appendage. "We should exercise caution. If these humans could disable our first wave so easily, who knows what defenses they've developed while studying our technology." But the Council majority sided with Admiral Zex. Pride outweighed prudence. The Confederation had never backed down before, and they would not start now, especially not against a species that should have been easily conquered. The decision was made. The main Confederation fleet, 10,000 ships strong, would crush Earth once and for all. What the Council didn't realize was that humanity was counting on exactly this response. The Reckoning. The Confederation's main fleet arrived in Earth's solar system with overwhelming force. Leading the armada was the dreadnought Eternal Dominion, a planet-killer vessel capable of reducing Earth's surface to molten slag within hours. Admiral Zex stood on the command bridge, his reptilian features set in grim determination. Begin the approach. No communication with the primitives. Maximum devastation on first strike. The massive fleet moved past Jupiter, its gravity barely affecting the advanced propulsion systems of the Confederation ships. Long-range scanners detected minimal activity in Earth orbit. Just a few hundred small vessels, likely the captured ships from the first invasion attempt. They have no chance, Admiral Zex hissed with satisfaction. Their resistance was impressive but futile. Ambassador Illyria, who had joined the mission against her better judgment, wasn't so certain. They've had time to prepare, Admiral, and they've shown remarkable ingenuity. Preparation means nothing against our numbers. Zex dismissed her concerns. Even if they've mastered some of our technology, they can't possibly. Admiral, the sensor officer interrupted, panic in his voice. Detecting massive energy signatures activating throughout the system. Suddenly, the void around the Confederation fleet lit up. Hidden in the asteroid belt, camouflaged on the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, and concealed in Earth's own orbital debris field were thousands of devices, human-built weapons based on Confederation technology, but modified in ways the aliens had never considered. The weapons fired simultaneously, not at the ships themselves but at the space between them. Reality twisted as hundreds of miniature artificial black holes momentarily winked into existence, their gravitational distortions tearing through the carefully ordered Confederation formation. Within seconds, nearly 30% of the invasion fleet was damaged or destroyed, crushed by forces that the Confederation had theorized but never weaponized. Impossible. Admiral Zex bellowed. How could they? We found the research in your databases, came a calm human voice over the communication system. The view screen activated to show a dark-skinned man in a simple blue uniform. General Thomas Chen, Earth Defense Alliance. You've been experimenting with quantum gravity manipulation for centuries, but never perfected it as a weapon. We did it in 6 weeks. Before Admiral Zex could respond, the second phase of Earth's defense activated. The supposedly primitive vessels in Earth orbit suddenly accelerated to impossible speeds, revealing themselves as next-generation fighters built with human ingenuity and alien technology. Unlike the rigid, hierarchical combat formations of the Confederation, Earth's ships moved in fluid, unpredictable patterns. They attacked in swarms, then scattered before counterattacks could target them. They used asteroids as shields and weapons. They employed electronic warfare that scrambled Confederation targeting systems. On the Eternal Dominion's bridge, chaos reigned. How are they coordinating these attacks? Zex demanded. Their tactics make no sense. Ambassador Illyria's crystalline form pulsed with understanding. That's because they're not following a single tactical doctrine. Each human ship commander appears to be adapting independently. There's no central command structure to disrupt. For the first time in his long military career, Admiral Zex felt fear. The Confederation's advantage had always been technological superiority and unified command. Against the humans, both advantages had been neutralized. Order a strategic withdrawal, he finally commanded. We must regroup and... The ship shuddered violently as a direct hit breached the Eternal Dominion's supposedly impenetrable shields. Hull breach on decks 7 through 12, reported a frantic officer. Engineering reports quantum core destabilization. General Chen's face remained on screen. Your ship is disabled. Admiral. Surrender now, and we'll guarantee the safety of your crew. Pride warred with survival instinct in Zex's mind, but as more systems failed around him, the decision became inevitable. This is Admiral Zex of the Confederation, Dreadnought Eternal Dominion. We surrender. Throughout the solar system, the battle ended as suddenly as it had begun. The remaining Confederation vessels powered down their weapons and raised the universal signal of surrender. Humanity had won. 1 month later, in a hastily constructed diplomatic facility on Luna, the new reality of galactic politics was formalized. The 7 original members of the Confederation Council sat across from the 7 representatives of Earth, scientists, military leaders, and diplomats who had orchestrated humanity's successful defense. High Arbiter Korlax, his luminescence dimmed by shame, pushed forward a crystalline tablet. The terms of the Confederation's surrender and Earth's ascension to full galactic status are recorded here. All 15,000 inhabited worlds of the Confederation acknowledge Earth as a sovereign power with all attendant rights and privileges. Dr. Elena Reyes, now Earth's chief ambassador to galactic affairs, took the tablet and reviewed its contents. And the classification system, the practice of categorizing civilizations and exploiting them. Abolished, confirmed Ambassador Illyria. No world will ever again be subjected to forced resource extraction or population management. General Chen, sitting beside Elena, leaned forward. And what guarantees do we have that once we integrate into galactic society, there won't be attempts to undermine these agreements? Fleet Commander Vryn, her once arrogant demeanor now subdued, answered. The Prometheus Protocol ensures compliance. The Prometheus Protocol, named by humans after the Titan who stole fire from the gods, was humanity's insurance policy. Using captured Confederation technology, Earth had built a network of quantum-entangled devices throughout Confederation space. If activated, they could instantly disable any military vessel or installation that posed a threat to Earth. We hope never to use it, Elena said firmly. Earth seeks peaceful coexistence, not dominance. But we will never again be vulnerable. The signing ceremony proceeded without further discussion. As the Confederation representatives departed, Admiral Zex paused beside General Chen. There is one thing I still do not understand, the reptilian officer admitted. How did a species with your technological limitations advance so quickly? Even with our technology in your hands, the leap you made should have taken decades. Chen smiled slightly. You made a fundamental error in your assessment of humanity, Admiral. You measured our advancement by our technology alone. You never considered that technology is just a tool. Our real strength has always been our adaptability, our creativity under pressure, and our refusal to accept defeat. Zex considered this a costly mistake. For both sides, Chen replied, but perhaps a necessary one. The galaxy needs change. Admiral, the old ways of conquest and subjugation were never sustainable. As the Admiral departed, Elena approached Chen. Do you think they'll actually change? Thousands of years of galactic culture won't transform overnight. Chen looked out the viewport at the starfield beyond, now open to human exploration. They don't have much choice, but more importantly, they're beginning to see that there's another way. Not dominance, not subjugation, but cooperation. It's how humanity survived and thrived on Earth, by coming together when we needed to most. And if cooperation fails? Elena asked quietly. Chen's expression hardened slightly. Then the Prometheus Protocol remains. Trust, but verify. A very human approach to peace. In the decades that followed, humanity expanded throughout the stars not as conquerors, but as innovators. Earth's unique perspective, forged in the crucible of near extinction, brought fresh ideas to ancient galactic institutions. The species that had once voted unanimously to enslave humanity now found themselves learning from their former prey, adapting human concepts of individual rights, democratic governance, and technological innovation. And throughout the galaxy, a new understanding spread. Underestimating humanity was the last mistake you'd ever make.